It's Friday night and it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And this is the Redox 5
in Frisco, Texas.
or at least 3.
Coming to you live with so much excitement.
Yes.
The all-girl team.
There are some hidden people. So, all right.
Well, don't look at me.
Okay. Well, you're our part of this Redox 5.
So this evening, we have a wonderful lineup for you guys, something
Oh my
different.
gosh. Well, it's great to be back, you guys. I've missed you all, but I am having a fabulous summer. And believe it or not, they've asked me to come on as a guest. So you know what? If you're not on the Hestia 5 for a couple of months, then you get to come back as the special guest. As you can see, we're here in Frisco, Texas, with, of course, the lovely Ann Glenn from San Antonio, Texas, and Nelda Castillo from Lubbock. I knew I would mess up with that. And of course, me from Galveston, Texas. We're all in Frisco at an ASEA Super Saturday, and Jim is behind the scenes. And we're going to be actually talking to different people who are here and hearing their stories, you know, what brought them to ASEA, what they've experienced. And just so you know, for those of you who are brand new to this, what we're talking about is it's going to sound like it's changing people's lives, because it is, but it's not a medical problem. It's not a medical product. Even we're not here to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent anything. What this product does is it helps cells do their job better. And when the cells have the tools that they need to do their job, miraculous things can happen, because the body is miraculous and it knows how to heal itself. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it back over to Ann so she can start the interview. Ann?
Yeah. So we wanted to have Maureen on tonight to start. Love to know your story, how you heard about ASEA. You know, there are new people on the show. So this to them will be a treat to hear your journey the last, what's it been, 10 years?
10 years, yeah.
So share with us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And thank you for those of you who haven't heard my story. I am a physician, anesthesiologist, pain specialist. However, for the past 10 years, I have been a full-time redox signaling molecule expert and educator. We were exposed to this, my husband and I. My husband's a pediatric anesthesiologist and stem cell researcher. About 10 years ago, a friend of ours had left a company whose products I used in my pain clinic. And it was a Japanese wellness company. And I called him and I said, why did you leave that company? He was having incredible success. And he said, I don't know what to tell you. I came across a company with a breakthrough product that is literally changing people's lives. And I was like, well, I'll bite. You know, what is that? And when he told me it was made from salt water from Salt Lake City, I was a little skeptical. You know, that did not sound right. I live on an island, in Galveston, Texas. I'm surrounded by salt water, and it never seemed all that magical to me. I mean, salt water, you know, our bodies are made of salt water, but normally you don't have to pay for it. So Terry Latham was a very successful business person. And so I took a look at what he was sharing with me. I had actually been approached about it probably 6 months before that, when my mother had a very serious life-threatening illness, and somebody shared it out of concern, thinking that it would help her. And I call that my era of ignorance and arrogance, because I didn't take a look at any of the information. I thought, you know, I'm a physician. I should know what to do with my mom. This is my mom. I'll handle this, and truly deleted everything that she sent. So when it came, and unfortunately she did perish. So when this came back into our lives 6 months later, and I found out it was the same product, I was like, honestly, really, you know, this is what you're doing. I just was just so taken aback, because it just sounded like snake oil. It just sounded, honestly, it sounded ridiculous. But I took a look at some of the information, and what Terry didn't know is that my husband also served in Iraq with the military. He retired as a colonel in the Army Reserves. And on his last tour of duty, he was running 10 miles in a sandstorm and had an episode of wheezing. Wouldn't seem like any big deal. But one of the doctors suggested that he get not a CAT scan, but a chest x-ray. And what's amazing is that he actually did that, because, you know, for me, had I had some wheezing after running 10 miles, I probably wouldn't have followed up on that at all. But when he got that chest x-ray, it showed he had a huge mass in his chest, and they sent him home. Like I said, we live outside of Houston. So he went to MD Anderson, got the full workup, got the full treatment, surgery, strong medications, radiation, you name it. They cured him. And we felt very blessed, very grateful for that. But the treatment left him incredibly compromised. My husband went from being an athlete, former marathon runner, still running 8-10 miles a day, to literally using oxygen to sit in a chair and watch TV. And there he was in his mid to late 50s. So incredible change in the quality of his life. And so here we were questioning what was the next move and not knowing why two doctors didn't expect this outcome. And Terry, our friend Terry, comes with this biotech breakthrough made from salt water. And it was a God thing. You know, it was literally a God thing that we tried the product. And it didn't happen quickly, which was sort of a blessing because it took 6 weeks before we noticed anything. But my husband eventually was able to wean off of the oxygen and start exercising again. And, you know, it's funny because a couple of people who I offhandedly shared it with, and I always laugh about this, my girlfriend, who was a retired ER nurse up in Seattle, Washington, had had surgery on her wrist a year before, and she was still having excruciating pain, had tried literally everything, some of it not quite legal at that time, but nothing was working for her. And so I called her, and she knew Terry, and I said, hey, Latham has this is doctor and nurse, Latham has us on this product. We don't know what it is. We don't know how it works, but you've tried everything else. You might as well try this. If you don't like it, you can get your money back. And frankly, I don't care. That was my huge endorsement. And Terry called me 2 weeks later, and he said, hey, Joan signed up. I said, Joan who? He said, Joan, your friend from Seattle. And I was like, no, I don't think so. Signed up into this? Like, no, she wouldn't do that. I know Joan. He said, well, her name's on the dashboard. You might want to give her a call. So I called her and I said, did you sign up into this company? And she was like, oh my God, she got the product. All we had back then was the liquid. And she soaked her hand in it. And then for some reason drank it, which she said was putrid. I don't recommend doing that, especially if you've soaked your feet in it. Hand is one thing, but don't do it at all. Just soak it if you want to, drink it. Two different events. But anyway, she soaked it and she drank it. And she said the swelling went down. She could make a fish. She could write with her hands. She slept through the night. Her husband said she hadn't looked that good in months. So she signed up and she started sharing it with people. At my house, we still hadn't experienced anything. I had another girlfriend who's a joiner. When she found out I signed up, she signed up, and I was like, good for you. You know, good luck. Her mother had an amazing response. She was spritzing it into her eyes, and she had a procedure done on one eye where she hadn't seen out of the eye in 9 years. Wow. And one morning, Sally was walking through the kitchen, and her mom said, hey, Sally, I see you. And she's like, hey, Mom, I see you too. And she's like, no, I see you in my blind eye. And Sally's like, what are you talking about? And she had started to see colors and shapes again. So, you know, she signed up her mom's home health nurse and her podiatrist and some other people. And so they were off to the races, you know, sharing this with people, saying, we've got our hands on some sort of miracle. We don't know exactly what it is. We didn't have a lot of science back then. There weren't a lot of studies. We have a lot more information now. It's no longer on trial. It does what it does. We know a lot more about the science of redox signaling molecules, and we're here to share it with everybody. So anyway, fast forward. I, at that time was in training for something called age management medicine. I got done with that training. I saw what it was doing for the people around me, something that was 100% non-toxic and probably the most powerful thing I'd ever had my hands on. And after decades of writing hundreds, if not thousands of prescriptions, all of them coming with side effects and warnings and whatnot, to have something this pure, this simple, this powerful, that is not only natural, but it's innate to the body. It's a bio-replenishment agent. We're just putting back something that we have less of as we age, and it allows the body to work like it's much younger. It allows the body to perform like it's meant to perform. And when you do that, miraculous things happen. And so the last 10 years have been a gift, literally a gift. I've been able to do what I always wanted to do as a physician, which was to impact people's lives, their health, the quality of their life, and do it on my own terms. And the financial reward, the personal reward, professional reward has been absolutely amazing. And it's been an incredible journey. And I just feel so blessed to be here and to have my husband back, have other members of my family back that had bad diagnoses, big challenges, and now they're healthy. And, I just thank God for ASEA. So if you're seeing this for the first time, take a good look, do a deep dive, but get on the products. You owe it to yourself. So thank you, ladies.
Thanks for sharing.
One more time with the medical. This is not a medical product. It's a biotech product. We're not here to diagnose, treat, prevent, cure anything. We're just giving the body something that it needs, that it should have, that it has less of as we get older or our bodies are under stress. And when we replenish it, it can do the job it's meant to do. And sometimes miraculous things happen. So thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Great
My
sharing.
pleasure.
Super sharing. Who
Bye.
would
See you
like
guys
to
in
do
September.
this next?
Terry's next.
Terry?
Leland.
Or is it Lee? It's not here about Terry.
Leland Duck. I'll let you intro this.
Okay, so we have a special guest this evening, one of our top
That's right.
leaders. Just like Dr. Maureen Hayes, we have Triple Diamond Leland Duck with us tonight. And what I would like to say about this gentleman is Leland rode into Lubbock, Texas. I sat on the front row, listened to his testimonial. It rocked me to my core. But Leland invited me to come to an event like tonight. We are in Frisco, Texas, and that changed the trajectory of my life and my Redox business. But it also has developed me into the leader that I am. So to me, it wasn't just, I mean, the product is fabulous, like Dr. Maureen just said, but what it does to develop a person, when you have a leader like Leland Duck, Leland has been in the medical field for over 40 years. He is a cattle rancher in Oklahoma. He's just an amazing gentleman, top business, multi-million-dollar business leader. He has built 3 multi-million-dollar companies. And then he had a challenge because he had a lot of oxidative stress. He was working, and I'll let you he will tell his own story, but the fact of what this product did for him. But I want to introduce to you a gentleman that honestly has my deepest respect. I wouldn't be the leader that I am today if it would not be for Leland Duck and what he does for all of us. So please welcome Leland Duck, Triple
Yes.
Diamond in the Sea.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Nelda, for your kind words. And it's a pleasure to work with you. It's great to see you from when I first met you to where you are today. That's probably why I get as much joy in this business as seeing my new leaders grow and become their own leader. And you're a great one, and you're going to get better. You're just really developing well. Also, before I talk, I want to take a minute and I want to really thank you, Ann and Jim, for this call. You've been doing it for a long time. I know it's not easy every Friday night and wherever y'all are making this happen. I appreciate your consistency because a lot of times it helps your team, but it helps people all over the world. And y'all just have a big heart to do this and to be part of this, see a family to help it grow.
Yeah.
So thank you for all your dedication and time that y'all spend doing this. It doesn't go unnoticed.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, for me, I was approached with this business about 6.5 years ago. And no, I'm sorry, 8.5 years ago. But I was running a few companies and I wasn't interested in doing anything else. I didn't have enough time in a day as it was. I was running an orthopedic company. I'm running a full-time cattle ranch, and I had another business as well in Nashville. So running 3 companies. And then when Terry approached me with this, I said no to it, but he kept approaching me over 2 years. And I laughed at it and called it snake oil because I didn't study at med school. I didn't think it was real. But then I woke up one day with a health challenge, and I went through everything Western medicine could throw at me for 14 months. Nothing worked. And
What did that health challenge look like? What happened to you? I mean, you woke up one morning and couldn't do what? Well,
I went to bed tired after working cattle all day, woke up the next morning and my hands had drawn into my palms, my fingers. I hurt in every joint. I couldn't physically roll over on my own mattress to even turn over. It scared me. I didn't know what it was. I thought maybe I'd had a stroke or something that happened during the night. I didn't know what happened to me. Something was wrong. And I was in so much discomfort through my body, I can't even explain. And I called out for my wife. She'd already got up and she came to help me. I remember tears flowing down my face with the discomfort that I had. And I said, something's bad, wrong, get me to the hospital. And we finally made it to the car. And 7 weeks later, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder. And it just brought me to my knees. And when they told me what it was, they said, you probably never heard of it. It's very rare. And I said, actually, my mom had it. And I didn't know it could be passed down to 1 to 5 boys. So anyway, I started my treatments with medicine. 14 months later, I wasn't any better. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I can tell you I was scared from being an athlete through college and even playing some ball overseas afterwards, being active on a ranch, always healthy, done well with my business. I went from that to being depressed, thinking some crazy thoughts, which it's hard to admit that you can get to that point, but I was. I was trying to run my companies. I was having to hire everything done. And I was scared, to be honest with you. I was really scared. And Terry came back to me, my sponsor, and said, please don't say no to it. Try it. You have nothing to lose to try. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. And he gave me a website, pubmed.gov. And I went there and I read till probably 4 a.m. And it gave me hope. What I read gave me hope that I had found something maybe that could help me, because nothing else, all the medications and treatments I was having wasn't working. And so I decided to fly out to the company, and I did. I was impressed, and I don't wow very easy with the athletes I work with and the businesses that I'm in the locker rooms with players, but this company wowed me. And I came home excited to take the product, but I was also invited to a conference that was at the Gaylord Hotel in Dallas that weekend. And so I went, and I remember going and sitting on the front row and everybody telling their testimonies. And I remember just tears flowing down my face because I had lost hope, and they gave me hope. And I thought, all these people saying these testimonies, it's got to be real. This got to be real. And I'd been out to the company and saw that. So it just was the icing on the cake I needed to really move forward. But I wasn't interested in the business side. I just wanted to take a product and get healthy. And so started on the product. In the first week, about 80% or so of my discomfort went away. Second week, my depression had lifted. And then third week, my hands opened and closed for the first time in 14 months. So I was a pretty happy camper. And I was able to visit my ranch and do a few things that I had not been able to do. Each week, it kept getting better. In 90 days, I came off 3 medications that I'd been on for 8 to 10 years, and for high blood and sugar levels and high uric acid levels. And I even came off of a breathing apparatus because I had a problem with, sleeping at night, snoring and things like that. And so this product's been a game changer for me. I just wish I'd have tried it when I was first approached and not waited till I had something bad happen to me. But I feel blessed today that I was approached with this business. It's changed my life physically. Now it's changed it financially. And, I still have my other companies, but I'm looking to phase those out and do this more on a full-time basis. I look younger today. My skin, I feel better. I can work 12, 18-hour days on the ranch. I couldn't do when I was 62. I turned 70 this last March. It's been a game changer. And so I'll never get off of this product for what it does for me. And what I love most about it, it's non-toxic. All those things I was taking for years, these have no side effects. It's zero toxicity. So why wouldn't everybody try this before they would go another route? And so what I've learned, Jim and Ann, is that, I can't control what other people do, but I know there's a lot of people out there hurting like I was. So at first, when I approached them, maybe didn't do it, I would hurt inside. And then I was determined I was going to get them, and I'd put so much pressure, especially family, and it doesn't work. And what I've learned is that we're just the messenger. All we can do is share this science with people. They either want it or they don't. There's too many out there looking for it. We just need to be consistent every day, sharing it and let people know that it's here. It's kind of like if you're in business, your open sign's not up. People don't know what you do. You've got to tell them and tell your story.
Think they're healthy. They may be younger. They feel great. They're wonderful. Can you kind of say something to them real quick?
That's probably the biggest thing, Jim, is I felt healthy. The night I went home from working cattle and went to bed and woke up the next morning, I was a different person. And it can just be overnight, just like
Sure.
that with our health. And we know for a fact as we age, it's just a matter of time because we lose our body's ability to make these redox signaling molecules about 1% a year. So if I'm 70, I've lost about 70%. But the beauty in the science is I can take this product every day and put back into my body what it's physically not capable of doing on its own. To me, that's the beauty of the science. And so knowing that it's not a drug, it's not intended for any particular sickness or illness, it is a product for cellular healing. And when you drink this product, when the cells can communicate, the body can heal itself. That's the beauty of the science. And it's spreading out through all the medical schools, or even local high schools are teaching it and talking it. Jim, I believe, in 10 years, everybody's going to know this just like Kleenex. It's going to be in everybody's home. You just be lucky you've heard about it, but don't wait like I did. Don't wait till something happens to you before you decide to try it. Think about being preventative. It's kind of like your car. Don't wait till it breaks down to do something, take care of your body. And for me, I'll always be on the product. And, I had the drink and the gel, but now we have 14 items in this company, a family Redox products. And I'm blown away with the company and its leadership, the ethos of this company. What I like about it, because I can still run my other companies, I have another stream of income. It's the gig economy. Even most physicians today have a second source of income or a third source, and you should, because having multiple streams of income is healthy. But where can you be in a business and do and not only get healthy, but make a really strong income with really no investment? I mean, I've had $1 million inventories before with my other companies with 100 employees plus 150 at one time. Always brick and mortar headaches, rent, utilities, insurance, machines. Every time you make something, you put it back into your company. With this, I don't have any of that. No employees, no headaches. I can go to my ranch 2 weeks at a time and lock the gate and work on the ranch, work the cattle. I don't have to punch in on a clock. The company has been consistent for 6.5 years, never been late with a check. I don't have to ship it, bill it, touch it. All I have to do is share it with people. And if they order, they get to buy it at the same price I do. I'm not buying it and marking it up to my friends. I love that business model and the fact that you can get paid by helping change somebody else's life. It's better than when I was in the office seeing patients. So this has been a game changer. I would encourage you to do your homework, research it. And when I say research it, I don't mean go to Google. You can go there and you'll see good and bad, but you see good and bad on everything from physical therapy to chiropractic care, because a lot of people are paid to say negative things about things that are good. If you're going to research it, go to a research center and go to, that's Google Scholar or PubMed. Go to where the doctor's peer review articles are and study it, because it's non-toxic. It can hurt you, and you deserve to know about this. Your body deserves to know about it, that we can live a longer, healthier life than in the past because of a new thing that's come to market.
Real quick, you have the medical disclosure report.
Now we're going to repeat Jim's questions because one of the audience said they can't hear Jim. So he's going to repeat the disclaimer for those that are.
This product is not intended to treat or cure any particular sickness or illness. It's a cellular communicator product to help your cells to communicate with each other. And when your cells in your body can communicate and get healthy, the body can heal itself. And that's what I love about it. It's not a drug. It's zero toxicity. It has all the advantages. So I encourage you to look at it. We have a group of people here. We're at the Embassy Suites in Frisco. We have a conference tomorrow. We're going to be sharing this with a lot of people, and our people that are like Nelda and ourselves. We come to always learn more and to hear testimonials from other people. And the more we know, the more we can share with other people. So we all stay tied in to learning. And thanks again. I think you got up, Jim, there for a minute, but I thank you and Ann for what you do here. It's huge, and you're consistent. I think it's the biggest thing by videos being done with ASEA. Y'all have done a phenomenal job, and my hat's off to you. I appreciate all you do.
Thank you.
Yep.
Leland, it was good. Yeah, I was going to say,
She's going to comment.
Okay, go ahead and please bring Terry Latham up, because he's the one that introduced you to him. So do you mind introducing Terry?
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Okay. Leland,
Very
Leland.
like them.
Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Just pull up
I think
another
he's
chat.
only been on our show one time.
Introduce him. Go ahead.
Look at that tan.
The terrier, we wouldn't even.
We go.
sit
We all in here?
ourselves.
Okay, want to introduce him? No, we're good.
No, I'm good.
Let's introduce him. Hold on a second, Terry.
Well, they asked that I introduce Terry since Terry is my sponsor. This is the gentleman that didn't give up on me for 2 years. I'll forever be grateful for Terry and staying with me, even though I laughed at him and called it snake oil. And he made multiple trips, but he was always professional, always stayed in tune with me. And when the timing was right, it happened. So let that be a lesson to all of us. Just because somebody says no and laugh at you doesn't mean you give up on them. You put them on the list and you stay with them. And because it may not be now, it's always about timing. Like for me, it was 2 years later.
No.
And so Terry's triple ambassador diamond, one of the top leaders in this company. And I thank you for all that you do and making these meetings possible and helping so many other people and helping people change their life, not only physically, but financially. I appreciate you. So, ladies and gentlemen, Terry Latham.
Hey, thanks for
I'll buy you a beer here in a little bit. Hey, thanks, bud.
You'll buy me one?
A beer.
Oh, you always say that so you can drink too.
So what am I doing?
Well, we want to know your story.
My story.
I mean, you heard of this?
I was broke, now I'm not.
He was broken, now he's not. Very good. Thank you, Terry Latham.
It's going into 11 years.
So yeah, so it'll be 11 years. Will be November. Been with SIA. Before that, I was network marketing for 12 years with another company. When I joined in network marketing, I loved the idea of the industry of network marketing. I never believed the way people approached me. I didn't like the idea of when they said, we'll do all the work, that's all you have to do. So I made my decision to be a part of that particular company because my dad approached me, and my dad had success in business. When he approached me, it was around wellness. My thought was if I could make enough money to pay my, a little bit more, maybe I could retire a little bit sooner. I was about 28 when I started. So I heard somebody made 50 grand their first month in that company. Some other people made 10 grand their first month. And I said, heck, if I can do half of that, I can be on my way. My first month, I made my rebate. Now, first month, not week, first month, made my rebate off my initial investment. So I invested $5,000. So the rebate that came from that. The second month, I made $12. So I wasn't doing so well. Everybody else is kicking my tail. So the reason I say this is got 20 or months to right at 2 years. I made my first $2,000 check, and never did I just relax or let off. I knew that other people had success. My success didn't come that fast, but I also knew if you're willing to talk to enough people, success loves numbers. Okay. They might have they can speak better than me. They might have better credibility, but I was willing to talk to more people to get the success. After that, 3 years after we made that check, 3 years later, we built the fastest growing business in a multi-billion-dollar company. But my success came in the first 18 months. I was with that company 12 years. They made some changes, didn't align with our beliefs. And the network marketing, just like in any business, certain companies might shift. That's what happened. I knew about ASEA for 3 years before we made our decision to be a part of ASEA, because other people from the company I was with had made the decision to come over. So I knew about it. Long story short, I made a few phone calls within 48 hours. Now, it took me, I knew about ASEA for 3 years. It truly only took me 48 hours to make a decision to get going. Now, when I made my decision to get going, it was make my decision to get going because I had to leave the other company. So when I had the skill sets, so we built it to the top in ASEA. At the time where the compensation plan was, we built it to the top in 18 months. Now, the only reason I even say that, not to be boastful, we had the skill sets. If you treat your network marketing business in a sense of learning the skill sets of building a business, not to get lucky, because the problem I see sometimes in network marketing, when people call themselves a network marketer, they're trying to find a big dog who will actually build it and they write it like it's a lottery ticket, versus if you treat it like a real business, learn the skill sets. One thing people can never take from you is your skill sets. They can take away your company, take away your pay. If you had skill sets, you're successful for life. So we've got being a part of SIA now for, like I said, 11 years. It's been a greatest decision, greatest ride we've ever had.
It's awesome.
Actually, my oldest is 20, my daughter is 17, and my youngest is 15. And our children have never known their parents, their mom and dad, to go to work in a traditional sense. And that's I guess for me, I built it for that reason alone. And now you can say, yes, the cool thing is about the wellness aspect, you get to help people. The cool thing about the wellness aspect is the product helps people. People naturally start to talk to people. The masses are looking for another way right now. The masses are, when I started in network marketing 22 years ago, we almost had to convince people you need a plan B. It's, oh, heck no, because the pensions were in play then, everything else was in play. How's that working for everybody today? It's all changed. You also look at just the products. People are looking more towards wellness or ulterior methods versus going straight to mainstream medicine. Now, mainstream medicine has its place, but it should not be the first line of defense. And people are becoming more and more aware of that. But now, especially now in the network marketing space, how many people do you know want to make more money? How many people do you know like additional $500 a month? And then we have our hands on something that's pretty massive.
What would you say about the growth of the company and the products that are coming out and what's to come? What would you say about that?
It's just going to get better. Now you get an idea. You think about the perspective that the Redox. For that, I know y'all talk a lot about this, but say the Redox signaling. When I started, there were 12,000 studies on PubMed. Okay, y'all go look it up. PubMed, whatever. Today, there's almost 400,000. So when I started, there's 12,000 studies. There's only one product on the marketplace. So it didn't take me. Now there's a lot of science behind the product. The only thing my thing was drink it and rub it. And I know I'm not trying to be silly, but I want to keep it simple. If you could either get it or not, but if you understood there's 12,000 studies on this particular area of science, there's one something on the marketplace, there's a massive market. Well, now there's 400,000 product studies out there, and there's still, and we're the only one and only when it comes to Redox. Now you start these satellite products coming off of this that feed it. Now we don't just put products into the marketplace to feed the compensation plan. We own the cells. That's what people are doing. We own the cell. And that's actually how it communicates. And we're adding more to this. So as an entrepreneur, if you build it around, say, one product, you pick. Let's say, I like Redox. I mean, I like the whole thing, but Redox. Well, now it's gotten so much easier because how many people use clay mats? Now we got clay mats and Redox. You put them back, hang, wipe their back. Now this is for me, and I can do it men and women. If people say, I don't want to use it. It doesn't matter. Let's talk money. You rub it on the back of your hand, leave it for 10 minutes, wipe it off 10 minutes. You see the difference. You don't have to do that much. You start to understand that there's a massive market share behind this, and we're bringing a lot more. So now Dr. Maureen Hayes sits, she's on she sits on the medical board, as y'all know, and she spoke earlier. She knows a lot more about the new products and science that's coming out than I do. We do some of the advisory council, but what I can tell people, they better have all their ducks in a row because it's just going to get a lot better.
We're excited. Yeah. What would you say about this event here in Frisco this evening? Events make money. This event, of course, this one we're having here in Frisco is going to be a smaller event because we have a convention coming, but it's still going to be a large event, over 100 people, but there's been a lot of interaction. I think it's also going to be getting into a lot of how to say it and how to really catch people. And because when it comes to network marketing, a lot of times we oversell or we push versus just, limit and attract people by doing that. So there's been a lot of good things. The cool thing is about for me when it comes to events is that before event, like we see everybody out here tonight, and then the after event, the middle part, when we get all the training, is good stuff. The best part's before and after. Sherry, I have a question for you. So, you have a morning call every morning at 7:30, Monday through Friday. What are you seeing on that call as far as developing? Is there any development of people on that call? Yeah. So the cool thing is, as a triple invest, Leland's talking about this stuff, and I talk about 22 years of experience. I talk about all this stuff, and a lot of times people that are listening in either tonight or the recording, they'll focus on the present by way of what we say, by way of, it's easy for you because you're this or whatever. The cool thing is about a call like what we do, and anybody can set up a call if they have their own teams and they're not a part of ours. The cool thing about this, you're going to hear it real time. Now, we've had this call going, 2 years? Is that how long it's been? Yeah. And you've heard people like Tanya Chandler. Yeah. Saying her mom, all the stuff, but she's platinum. You get Stacey Cornelius. Stacey Cornelius about to go bronze, and she all this, but you hear where they struggle because in building this business, the cool thing is it's very simple. But what makes it complex is the simplicity.
We don't have to worry about the common business concern. We have to do any of that kind of stuff. The only thing we have to do is talk to people. But then we have to overcome the most difficult part is the person in the mirror. So if you're in a group of people and you hear them go through the same stuff, everybody's in the same boat, but you hear certain people break through because they're consistently talking to people. Things start to happen. So that's what we're getting for the morning calls. So you're starting to hear other people have success. And also the people who are not sharing, everybody comes for their own reasons. But the people who are not sharing, which is okay, they're starting to hear that people who are having success and sharing all the time, the why they're having success is because they're talking, they get fail, win, fail, win. And then they have more success because they're talking to more people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're
King,
like, they're like
because the-
sponges. They
because
can
the
just
queen
listen.
bird here is hitting all the fast forwards.
Yeah.
How many of y'all done so far?
30 plus, but there's a girl on Dream Struggle. She did 23 and she did 8 fast forward pluses, which we've only done 2. So that's pretty remarkable. That gal's rocking.
So that's how to build a business. You're back
Oh, yeah.
to back to back
Yeah.
to back to back.
We're
fast
going to be
forwards.
talking about that tomorrow.
But you know, the cool thing is about what you do in the fast forward. If you're willing to sponsor people and you can do that, you can win. Now, there's people listening that say, I can't sponsor people. You just talk to more people because, you know, it all comes in phases. You might talk to people, nobody listens. And then you can start tweaking it better than one person listening and get better at that. And you get better at the next step, but you start adding on. But the big thing is if you want people to do, if you want people to do the things to be successful, you have to do the things you want your people to do to be successful, and they'll follow you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Sharon.
sharing.
Yeah.
You want to introduce?
Okay, Karen, come on down. This is like a game show.
I know. I feel like,
Come on
come
down.
on down. Come on down.
Good.
Thank you. Here.
For me too.
Yes, go ahead. Who's going to introduce?
Yes, please do.
Leland,
Yes,
You want me to
yes.
introduce
It's
them?
close to the couple. It makes
Very
sense.
special
It's
couple.
Close to the couple.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
this is super.
I'm going to introduce the next speaker. It's Kurt and Karen Woolheater. And I met them this last year. They're new with ASEA. Just an incredible story. When I first met Kurt, his health issues, he was struggling with keeping his feet and his legs. He was looking at amputation. And so he was very unhealthy. And we just started on products, started working with them. And I've just watched them grow over the last year as they've developed their business. And they've also got their health back, and it's getting better all the time. So I'm just going to introduce you to Kurt and Karen. I'm going to let them tell their story. It's a phenomenal story. And Kurt reminds me of myself when I first got started. Every time I start telling my story, I start crying. Well, he's the same way, but that's what happens when something changes your life. You can tell not only the compassion they have for others because of what they've been through, but the passion they have for this product. Don't ever stop that, because that's the biggest thing you got.
Thank you, Leland. Okay.
Thank you, Leland. He's the best. He's the best ever.
Yeah, we feel truly blessed.
Yes. You want to go first?
I'll try.
Okay.
I
Look up there and tell them.
I was at death's door. I wasn't gonna live to go through the things that I saw my grandmother go through with blood sugar issues, and so I took it as a death sentence. And then when Karen had her accident and she was bedridden, we were just looking, she was looking for anything to keep us going. And, I wanted nothing to do with direct sales or network marketing. I was traumatized by it, by a plastic company that has everything that holds your food. My mother was one of the second largest dealers in Dallas and for that product. And when there was just a phone and a notepad, and I wasn't, I made my money the old fashioned way, stomping myself to death for other people. And now I'm working myself to wealth and health with the CEO.
Yes. So we have come a long, long way. And one, not just in our health, but when we joined this company, well, quite honestly, we joined this company about 5 years ago, but the only reason that we joined is because I was trying everything I could to save his feet. And the doctors have already counted his feet out and they were preparing us for amputation. But then we came to an event like tomorrow and we learned about what it was, but I was not open to a business because we had just started another company, and it was helping me. That product was helping me I had a very bad car wreck where I broke, I fractured 7 vertebrae, no 6, and I crushed one. I broke my scapula and my clavicle, my orbital bone, and I amputated my left arm on the inside. The skin held it on, but it was useless. And but look, man, it's fine. So
0 surgeries.
and I've had no surgery, so thank you, Lord. But I was on some severe medication that Jim knows about, that and I was taking a lot of it. But then this other company helped me to get off of that, but I was still taking a whole lot of well, I can say it, right? CBD. Can I say that? Well, that's what I was taking. So it helped me, but I was still taking a ton of it, and my quality of life was still not what it is today. Well, then anyway, so the whole focus was on him to save these feet. So we started using this. He started drinking it. I let him do it because it was about him. And then we were instructed by Leland to soak his feet in
Terry Bailey.
and Terry Bailey for sure. To soak his feet. And so we started soaking his feet, and he wasn't drinking it. He was soaking his feet. But what happened was he started getting healing all over. His feet started healing. The holes in the bottom of his feet healed up. We were able to get surgery. When we went to the doctor, he told us that the very first time, way back in 2016, that there's 3 ways to treat what he has. It's amputation, shaving the bones that have been broken and there's just shards, or full foot reconstruction. And the full foot reconstruction was completely off the table because he wasn't healthy enough. They weren't even sure that he would survive amputation. So he started preparing us for amputation. And I told the doctor then, we're going to save his feet. I didn't know how, but I just knew we were going to save his feet. So we moved forward. We told the doctor when we found this ASEA, what we were doing, and the doctor would tell us he didn't know anything about it, but keep doing what we're doing because it was working. So then we move forward and we get to 2021, and we go in to visit him and to get the surgery of shaving the bones because reconstruction was off the table. Well, he was so impressed when he unwrapped his feet and he looked that he teared up. He came over and gave me a hug and he said, "You did it. You did it." And I said, "Well, God and I did it, but we did it. Yes, we did it." And he said, "Okay, well, I'm going to recommend you for full foot reconstruction." We about fell off the chair right then. And I said, "That was off the table." He said, "Yeah, but look at him. This is a whole different man that came to me way back then." And so we went, had full foot reconstruction on the left foot in April. There were some complications with infection. He ended up going back for surgery to get that infection cleared up, had some antibiotic drip that night, and he ended up flatlining and well, quite honestly, dying on me for a few minutes. And then he woke up in ICU with never again. With a ventilator, and when the very next day they were saying he could come get out of it. So we got him out of the ventilator and he went to a room the very next day. He stayed in the hospital at that point for 2.5 weeks, and he had a wound back on his foot because of the infection surgery. And they said that, number one, that we'd be in that wound back for 3 to 6 months. And then we had doctors for 4 days come and visit him and meet him. They wanted to meet him because not one of them had ever seen anybody go from where he was to out into a room in one day. And so we got to share about ASEA with a lot of doctors. So he got off that wound vac, not 3 to 6 months.
3 weeks.
He was off that wound vac in 3 weeks. They did a skin graft to help with that wound. And they said another 3 to 6 months. And he was completely released from the wound care in 7 weeks. And all of this is because of ASEA. So now we had the second surgery in December, and he went in on December 31st at 10 a.m. and had the surgery. And January 1st, he was out by noon. And that is just miraculous to all the doctors there as well. And then we had upped his ASEA intake for about a month before, but we did that on purpose because we learned more about what we had.
Up
And
to 16 ounces a day.
So today, up and walking, ambulating, and everything has, we say that Redox does not heal, treat anything. It does not heal. What happens is the body was designed to heal itself. And so when you drank your Redox molecules and you applied your Redox gel, it allowed the cellular communication to get started. And that's, Redox doesn't heal that, but it started the cellular communication that brought, you to be able to be in this shape today. So it's phenomenal. It's just a miracle that these things happen. So thank you for sharing your story. We appreciate that.
one quick thing, I know we're probably on time. A year ago, is when I came with him. We came and had our minds open to what this opportunity is, and also to what this product really is, et cetera. And that's when I learned that his full recovery from head to toe, everything about him that keeps getting better, is because he was using the ASEA because of what you just said.
Yes.
Exactly what you just said.
Yes.
And I didn't understand it scientifically. It was over my head, but I knew that was a big, big thing. And that's when I started drinking it. And I've had some good results too. And for time, we'll do that another day. But the year ago, this weekend, I'm assuming, we started our ASEA business. And I'm telling you, with the support that we've had, the acceptance, the love, the tools, and the guidance, we have found our home, and we could not be more pleased. We know this is our retirement right here.
And I do want to send a shout out to Dr. David Silverman for in October of 2018 encouraging me to stay the course when he met me in Iowa Round in Carrollton, Texas.
Thank you. Thank you. It takes a lot of determination.
Thank you.
Such a meaningful. Is that who's next? I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Is it Jimmy or Donnie? Okay, Jimmy, come on down.
All right, how you?
Jimmy, staff Jimmy.
Yeah.
So
All right.
glad you're coming in and going to share. Tell us. I know we have 10 minutes, and we're going to try to get in a number of people.
Yeah.
But tell us
I'll
your
keep it
journey. How you learned of ASEA, how things were before, and how they are today because of it.
Yeah, things wasn't good. When me and Michelle met, I had bad back surgery, and it wasn't, you tell yourself that surgery is going to help you, right? But anyway, surgery was not the best for me. It didn't turn out the best. Of course, Jim knows about that as well with back surgeries. They just don't, you don't never really hear of a good back surgery, or I've never heard of one anyway. So I was bedridden for about 2 years. And a friend of Michelle's told her, said, you need to try this for Jimmy, which I didn't know anything about it. She was researching it for about 2 months, and this stuff showed up at the house. And I said, what is this? And she said, just drink it. And I said, okay, but what is it? She said, I'm not sure. Just drink it. So anyway, I started drinking 2 ounces and 2 ounces. And then I got in touch with Leland, and he kind of instructed me that with the damage and what was going on in my back, that I needed to up my dosage. So I started taking a little bit more, and about a little bit over 2 months in, I basically, my discomfort had left, and it was really amazing. But it was one of those moments where you go, yeah, but I'm scared to move because it's going to come back. and it didn't, and it hasn't. So it's really been a game changer for me in my life, my family's life as well. And so that's my
your story.
That's right.
I love
Just
it.
keep it
I love
simple, and that's, just, it's been a life, it's life changing. If you haven't tried it, you need to.
Some people call it
Absolutely.
hope in a bottle. Would you say that?
Absolute-
That's
oh.
what it is?
It's hope in a bottle plus more.
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yes.
Drink it long
On
enough, take
steroids.
enough,
That's right.
do it long
And if
enough.
you're not, if you
start
don't
seeing
feel like you're getting the results you want,
Drink more.
you're either not taking it right, or you're not taking enough,
That's right.
or you're not taking it long enough.
It's physiology and
Absolutely.
biology, so we
So-
know it's going to work.
That it has to work.
Yes.
That's right.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thanks,
for
Yeah,
sharing
right.
your story.
Thank you,
Appreciate
ladies.
you being
Thanks.
here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay. Go ahead.
So
Get there. Got to give Don.
we're going to welcome Donalyn Dominguez. We're so excited she's joining us tonight.
So here comes Triple Diamond
Yes.
Dominguez. She is scooting around here in Frisco, Texas. What a powerful
She'll add
testimony.
to her testimony, just what she's going through. So here we go. So we're here tonight to hear about how you knew about ASEA, how life was before it, what it is today. So share us your miraculous story.
And one more thing, I just want to know, have you ever heard of a skeptic before?
I am the classic skeptic. In fact, I hated network marketing. I wanted nothing to do with anything that had to do with networking. I had a business. I was busy. I mean, it was successful. We're all broke at different levels. I spent everything we made, but I made a lot of money.
Mhm.
So, I was not interested in any other business. I was busy, but I was sick. I was real sick. In fact, my life was really on the line, and I didn't know how long I would live. And I had tried everything, and even been the medical route, which nearly killed me.
Yeah.
So when ASEA came to me, I only did it because Jim pestered me to death for 7 months. And I finally gave in and answered the phone. And also because I was desperate.
Yeah.
I was desperate. I didn't know. I wondered if I would be here for my next birthday, or for my twins to graduate from college, or
Yeah.
get to go to their wedding, or anything. I
Yeah.
just did not know. And it's a black cloud that hangs over your head. So I said, okay, you tell me this is non-toxic and can't hurt me, and I have 7 cases, so I'm going to drink the dumb stuff.
Uh-huh.
And thank you, Leland. And I did, and my body responded very well. And I got my life back, and I was so grateful that I told everybody my miracle. I wasn't trying to build a business, was I, Jim? He knows I wasn't. I'd tell people, and they go, I want to feel as good as you do. I go, okay. Then you need to talk to Jim. So I'd call him, hand them the phone, and he'd help me sign them up. And I didn't even realize for probably the first 3 months that this was profitable. This was a good thing
Yeah.
for me, being the age I was, and ready to retire, but I didn't want to. I was just so happy to be back, healthy enough to work.
Yeah.
But when I saw what they were paying me about 3 weeks in, I went, I should pay attention. This is significant. And I was 67, almost 68, and had that major health challenge. And so I thought I should at least figure out how this works. So we worked together. The team began to grow. I didn't even know what the levels meant when I hit them, but I knew the income was good, and saw people getting their lives back. Went, this is good. Began to use it with my pregnant girls. Got the most amazing results I'd ever gotten. Got invited to be on the medical professional board. And then heard my doctor say 2 years in, Donna Lynn, you're a mystery to me. And I went, why's that? He said, because you're alive. You should not be sitting in my office right now. What you have does not go away and you don't get well. But your labs are perfect and your scans are perfect and I don't understand. I said, well, I've got a lot of people praying. But remember me telling you about redox signaling molecules? He went, oh, yeah, you can take that stuff if you want to. I went, no kidding. I can and I will and I want to. And so here we are 5.5 years later. I'm so blessed to be alive. I just fell out of a store in St. Thomas at one of our amazing trips that the company provides last Saturday. And I've got a broken leg, first broken bone ever. But that's pretty miraculous in itself that I've just got a broken leg right above my ankle. Right. It didn't break my hip. I mean, I've been on steroids for 7 years, which destroys your bone density. Yeah. But I've also been on a SIA, not for that long, but it has helped my body stay healthy enough that it's just a fracture. I don't have to have surgery. I have to be on this dumb little walker for 6 weeks, 5 more. I'm almost counting to 5. Yeah.
So what happened? What happened that night? You were in St. Thomas.
It was the end of the event and it was marvelous. We went into town and the store stayed open. And so I went into a jewelry store and got this ring and went into the store, had a great time with the other diamonds looking at jewelry. And my husband said, we're going to have to find where the restrooms are when we leave here. And I went, oh, I know where it is. It's right across there. And I was walking toward it and pointing, but I missed that first stair.
Yeah.
And so I stepped down and fell over my ankle. And I knew when I hit the ground, I mean, that's a terrible feeling anyway, but I knew something was terribly wrong.
Important point here is that accidents are going to happen.
They do happen.
Accidents.
Yeah. And do you know, I have almost no swelling. The first thing that, I mean, as soon as I went, ow, 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 somebody ran up and gave me a spray bottle.
I saw that.
And I sprayed it. And then they brought gel and we gelled it.
Your knee got hit pretty good too.
Yeah. And then my other knee was banged up and Leland was gelling my ankle and testing where it was hurting. Leland, I mean, the people in this business, Leland Dutt, they're my good buddies anyway, he and Donna. And he was right there. He has been in orthopedics for 20 or 30 years. And he was right there. And he was putting the gel on and somebody started to bring ice. He said, oh, don't put water on it. It'll denature it. And so we held off on the ice for a minute and he kept putting gel on it. And he spent the whole evening with me. We went to the hospital. Tyler Norton was right in my face as soon as it happened, which how many heads of the company are like that? I mean, he was right there. And he said, I really think you need to go to the hospital just to check it out. So 2 of the corporate leaders picked me up, carried me like queen style. I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh, I wish I'd lost that 20 pounds before I came. I'm so embarrassed. But they carried me out there young and strong and put me in the chair. Tyler was going to go with us, but Leland said, I can go. And the other guy said, you probably ought to stay. This is our last night. So he stayed. He had Leland lead prayer.
Yeah.
I mean, it was beautiful. And so I went and got all fixed up. But I was so touched. That was Leland's 34th wedding anniversary. And he spent the whole evening at the hospital with me. I told his wife, I hugged all over your husband because I have to keep putting my arms around his neck for him to lift me into the wheelchair, lift me into the van, lift me onto this table, lift me onto this. So I said, I hugged all over your husband last night. She just laughed. But they spent their 34th wedding anniversary apart. That's the kind of people we work with. And the company went above and beyond. I cannot even believe what all they did
So what did
to
they
help
do?
me. Well, they postponed my flight because they felt like I didn't need to fly the very next day. They sent me home on a first class ticket so that I could stretch out my leg. They sent an employee, one of the event team, to be with me from the beginning of the morning all the way to DFW. She went and got our car out of the parking spot, brought it back, loaded us up, and then she went and got her room at the airport and flew home the next day. We became fast friends, but she was right there to help me with everything. Even getting up out of the airplane to go to the ladies' room or whatever I needed. And because now we're both in wheelchairs. I'm used to taking care of Chris, but now neither one of us were any good for each other. It was just, it was a hard experience, but an amazing experience. And to think they would do all that they did to help and support me. There is not another company out there. And Candy works for the airline. She's one of my associates and dear friends. And she said, let's don't name names. But she said, my company wouldn't have done that for any employee. Yeah. But our company would do that for every employee. Yeah. It wasn't because it was me. It was because it was a human being in need. And they live the ethos of the company. It's not just something they say to be cool or good. They live it. They live it. I watched it in practice. Yeah. I watched it materialize with my mouth hanging open the whole night at everything they did. They sent 2 event employees with me to the hospital. They dropped me and Leland and Chris off. They went back to my hotel. They got my insurance, my ID and all that. They brought it back to the hospital. They took us back to the hotel. Then they went and got food for us because we didn't get to eat. Right. So, it's just
Every need was taken care of.
Every single need, whether I could think of it or not, they were already on it. And it wasn't one person. It was every person. Because that's what they teach. That's what they live. That's what they do. It was beautiful. Yeah. So I feel so blessed to be part of this. Like, we are so honored. We are in such a position. And even if people don't want their health back, they don't want to make money, you need to be part of this so that you can become the kind of people they are. Because they're in the business of helping people become all that God created them to be.
Absolutely.
It's so powerful. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it. But yeah, I'm blessed. I'll get well. I don't like this. I'm not a good patient. My husband is the first to tell you I don't stay down very well. But, I'll use this to learn other skills and do things in a different way, but I'll do a lot more Zooms and a lot less running.
It's a time for growth.
Yeah. It's just a time to do something different, but we're not quitting. We will not ever quit. I owe everything to this company and all of the people who have trusted me, who have trusted you, who have become a part of this. We need to show them the essence of the business. Tyler taught on it at the Diamond Summit. It's not the projection of, oh, look who we are. Right. It's not that. Right. It's the essence of walking that out and becoming. And so it's not what we project, it's who we become.
Sometimes the story of essence is what you lived through. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw the essence of the company. I saw the ethos of the company all in action. It's not just words. It's who they are. So I am blessed beyond measure. I don't like having a broken leg, but I will get well.
It's temporary.
And these products are going to help me get well even faster.
That's right.
So
We're all cellular health. So, anyway, and friends.
Okay, guys. I'm sorry we went a little bit long, but you get these
special
stories
night.
going on, and it's really kind of hard to stop people
Oh, yeah,
from
absolutely.
talking. So I just want to say thank you again. We're live, and where are we?
We're in Frisco,
Frisco,
Texas.
Frisco, Texas. We are at the Embassy Suites.
Yep.
We're at the Embassy or the Frisco Conference Center. If
Yep.
anybody's in the area, please don't hesitate to swing on by. Guests are free at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
What are you going to say?
Just gonna say, thanks to you folks for doing this every Friday
This is
night.
our pay it
Y'all
forward.
are so great.
Thank you.
Friday
I
Night
appreciate
Live.
that, man.
Pay it forward.
Thank
y'all
you.
do.
Thank you,
Thank
Jen.
you.
Thanks.
So,
Catch the recording.
yeah, next week we're going to have Jerry White and Sean Burke.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about the basics of what this technology does. Expectations, setting correct expectations on product usage. So please do not miss next week. Come back and join us. And with that, this
It's
will be up
recorded at
probably, I will be sending it to Lee Osler, so it will be up on
maybe by tomorrow.
discoverredox.com, and I'll have the Vimeo up pretty quick as well. So guys, thank you. God
Thanks,
bless.
everybody.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you guys. Bye.